Thank you, everyone. Topic of my lightning talk is my experience with the Collab Fellowship, which is sponsored by Arbitrum DAO and executed by RN DAO. And I'm Richard Cuellar Lopez, and I'm focusing on user research for Ourmada, which is the project I'm founder of. So I always start with why, and I have the midweek mean here. And I think it's just really important to realize that we all support builders. We want more builders here. And for a long time, I was in the middle here. I'm not sure if I'm to the left or to the right, but what's really important is I've kind of gotten out of the middle and I've started asking a lot of stupid questions so I could build. And that's really why we do user research. Because when we think about user research, it helps us build better. We don't want to build, as Daniel said, we don't want to build first, realize that we got the problem all wrong, and then go back to user research. So we have a formal pitch for what RN DAO does with Arbitrum DAO, and the informal pitch, which is we have a half a dozen strangers, men and women from different continents, and we meet together on Zoom for 4 hours a week, where we learn about best practices and our own unique perspectives on conducting user research. I should also make a plug. We are accepting, or RN DAO is accepting an application, and there is a 50K ARB reward for anyone who comes out of the project successful. So for anyone who's looking for that, there's your plug. So as I get started on Ourmada and what I was originally thinking when I was its founder, so I had all this market research. Market research is really fun because all you have to do is go to Google and it's safe. And you don't really have to talk to real people. All you have to do is just find random data points and tell a story. And I came to the conclusion that transparency was the crux of all of our DAO and Web3 coordination problems. And it makes sense because that's what brought most of us to blockchains. However, with some great best practices and just good leadership from RN DAO, we did some exercises. And one of the exercises that we did was we just kind of mapped out, and we mapped out some key players. We mapped out desired outcomes for those key players, and also just the major themes. And transparency was one of those major themes, and that was good. That confirmed my original assumption. And so I was building the right thing, right? Every time I was coding, I felt good. Except as I did more and more user research interviews, and I've done more than 15 at this point, I realized that a lot more people really care about things having to do with collaboration and network effects. And the real key players, the people who had real stakes when it comes to collaborating, were actually more towards collaboration side as opposed to strict transparency. And transparency does matter, right? We want information on a public blockchain and we want to be able to see it, but it kind of just proved to me that I was wrong. Transparency wasn't that much to the people I spoke to, and instead collaboration was more important. I also found out that ease was way more useful and desired than features. And if you're building a lot of features, you don't really want to hear that sometimes, right? So as I continue mapping this out, and I am continuing to do interviews, and I'm kind of going down this path, I'm realizing that, hey, I'm hopefully getting better with these interviews. And so I'm talking to people all week about their problems. I'm also using things like the mom test so people don't lie to me in my face when I say, hey, I'm building something cool and they want to compliment me. And I'm also researching just strictly problems. And I'm trying to forget that solution mindset that we all have. This space is filled with builders. We all think about solutions. And really having the solution agnostic mindset is something that's important. And hopefully I will evolve to Vitalik level, and I'll continue to be involved with the Arbitrum DAO Collab project because I think it really has upgraded the way I approach this project. With that, I do want to make mention of Ourmada. So we are continuing to build Ourmada, building in public. So we have all of the kind of milestones in written form. Find us on Farcast or Twitter, and myself, Richard Cuellar Lopez. So thank you.